Hey, so I got a great question the other day, and this is not the first time I got this question, which made me think, let's talk about it here. Stefanie, I got into the real estate business thinking about the money, but I've realized that I don't actually love a lot of the work that the business entails. I want to talk about this because I venture to say 90% or more of real estate agents have felt this way before. And I've said it here on this channel, the real estate industry does a really poor job of setting expectations for new real estate agents. So this is a really common challenge for agents to find as they are trying to find their groove in the real estate industry. I think all of us get into this industry for some idea of freedom and flexibility, but they quickly find that this is one of the least flexible jobs many of us have ever worked. That doesn't mean that freedom and flexibility is not possible. It just means you kind of got to work for it, and you have to build it into your business, because at the end of the day, you are building a business from scratch. But again, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I want to talk about ways that we can really fortify our mindset, our habits, our day-to-day to help keep us on the right path and focus on the things that we do enjoy, especially if we are really close to having a breakthrough in the business. Because time and time again, I have been at that place where, I mean, not always, but it leads you to that like crying on the bathroom floor moment where you're like, I can't do this anymore, this industry is so hard. And then 5 minutes later, your phone starts blowing up with like referrals that were totally unforeseen. Your business is banging, all of a sudden you're closing deals and you're doing the stuff that you love to do. A lot of times it takes walking through a lot of mud to get to that point. And so I want to say, especially as a new agent, it might be worth sticking it out a little bit longer until you can find whether or not that breakthrough truly is on the other side. So the question is, I think, is there a breakthrough moment for you in your business that makes the harder work worth it? And hey, if we haven't met yet, my name is Stefanie Lugo, and welcome to my channel, where I am obsessed with helping real estate agents build the business and life of their dreams. And if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon to be notified every time I'm dropping new videos just like this. You can change it later, you can turn it off at a later date if you change your mind, that's totally fine, but it does help us stay connected, and importantly, it helps me serve other real estate agents just like you who need a helping hand in this really rough industry. Now, in my last video, you might want to check this video out where I'm talking about the habits and traits of the most successful real estate agents. I mentioned the importance of embracing uncertainty because, again, uncertainty is the nature of the beast in this business. There's so much uncertainty, so much is outside of our control, and I think that a lot of times that can make the work feel harder than it actually is in the moment. Now, in terms of being a real estate agent, a lot of times, right, like overwhelmingly, we are 100% commission professionals, right? Meaning, on average, we'll work with a client for 8 to 12 weeks before we ever see a penny for that work. This can become really difficult when we have very demanding clients, or if we get almost to the finish line and the escrow falls through, or if we thought we had a sure thing with a buyer and they walk into an open house and buy with some other agent. That uncertainty can become really difficult, and it can make us resentful of a lot of the activities that require us to operate our business, like doing showings, writing offers, doing our follow-up. This is why this habit is so impactful, and this trait, this mindset is so impactful for successful agents. They acknowledge the fact that there is a factor of uncertainty in this industry, and they focus on what they can control anyway. Now, this is why in the Market Authority Academy, for example, we spend so much time understanding a couple of different things. Monitoring your metrics is one of the most important things that you can be doing in your business, because when you are just sick of the daily grind, which no shame, I've been there. If you're just sick of the daily grind and you're wondering when the results will come, the answer is in the metrics. Now, if you're monitoring the right numbers, like your conversion ratios, the number of leads you're generating, the amount you're investing per lead source, and most importantly, the maturation rate of your lead sources. Yes, you have to know how many days on average it takes you to get a prospect to close. When you understand these numbers, it almost becomes fun because you're like a little scientist and you're able to forecast where your business is heading and make small pivots that get you exactly where you want to go. A lot of times in real estate, we assume that it's so unpredictable, and some of the agents out there who are just crushing it just got lucky, right? And sure, there are some agents who are so lucky it's unfair. I know them personally and I secretly resent them. Just kidding, I don't. I love them, but it is really hard when there are other agents out there who just like, you know, fall into an amazing relationship that sends them tons of leads. I mean, sometimes that happens, but overwhelmingly, agents who are successful, they create their own luck. And they create their own luck by focusing on what they can control, like monitoring the right metrics, sticking through their follow-up, and doing the things that are going to be revenue-producing activities. Now, the second thing I would encourage you to do as you're trying to decide whether or not this industry is still right for you is think about how many wins you've been celebrating recently. This is something I'm really, really bad at. I am the worst at celebrating wins, big or small, right? We could have just an absolute smash out of a month, close 6 figures in GCI and be like on top of the world. And I'm like, okay, what about next month? I don't take a second to like take a step back, acknowledge all of that hard work that we just went through and really celebrate that win. And so this happens every single day where you have opportunities to celebrate your win and pat yourself on the back. So like, did you wake up and have a good morning routine? Did you make that really hard call? Did you land that appointment? Did you finish all of the prospecting activities that you wanted to finish, right? It doesn't have to be big or small, but it does have to happen every single day where you are taking a moment to acknowledge the wins, feel a sense of pride and gratitude in that, because how else are you going to have the energy and motivation to continue moving? Now, there are a couple of tricks that I've learned around this that I've found really helpful. Number one that I learned from a mentor of mine is the hero list, right? So make a list, a running list. You can keep this in a notepad on your phone or in a Google Docs or just like in a draft email in your inbox of all of the really cool, hard things that you have accomplished. So if social media is really tough for you, but you wanted to make it happen, and you got on that Instagram profile, you dialed it in, you created incredible posts to share, and you were consistent with it for a couple of days, that in itself is a huge hurdle, especially for someone like me who's an introvert. Like, that kind of stuff is really challenging for me. I mean, I know it might not seem like that because I'm on this side of the lens of the camera right now, but like, all of this is really hard for me. This is something that you can take a moment for. Find those things that are really hard for you and write that down on a list, because you accomplished something hard that was outside of your comfort zone and you deserve a moment to acknowledge that. Now, this way you can always kind of refer back to that, and if you're feeling a little down in the dumps and just questioning your purpose in this industry, remember all of the things that you've done to get to this point and celebrate that. The other little habit that has worked for me is I have a timer that goes off on my phone multiple times a day, and I like to think of it as my mindset timer. And it just goes off at certain times of the day, and it says a little mantra for myself. Now, the mantra is kind of personal to me, so I won't put it out there, but it can be something as simple as celebrate your wins or bring the joy, right? And it's just a moment for you to take a pause, get out of your mind for even just a moment, just for now, and think about something to celebrate. I promise even just that moment of gratitude will help you feel refreshed and refocused on what it is you are trying to work on. Now, finally, the last thing that I want to leave you with is the importance of fine-tuning your business model. There are a million ways that you can create a business in this industry, and that's part of what I love about it so much. Not one business is going to look the same. The onus is on you, honestly, as a business owner, as an independent contractor, as a real estate agent. Like, you do have to take some of the responsibility in deciding how you want your business to look like. So if you're struggling because you hate your prospecting activities, you have to change that. There are a lot of ways that you can connect with different buyers and sellers, and you have to find out what types of prospecting and lead generation works best for your skills and mindset. You also might feel resentful because you hate showing buyers. Well, maybe you should become a listing agent. Yes, sometimes it is that simple. In fact, the more you really nail down your niche on who it is you're willing to work with and not work with, the more successful your business is going to be. I've proven it time and time again with agents in the Market Authority Academy. Maybe you hate the document side of things and the admin work. Maybe you hate chasing down signatures, you hate keeping track of deadlines. It is so tedious and boring to you. In that case, guess what? hire a transaction coordinator for a couple $100 per transaction, and you have taken off all of that workload that was making you super resentful of the process. A lot of this is easiest done from the beginning, right? So in a perfect world, there would be some kind of training that can teach agents right at the beginning where they need to start from A to Z in building their business blueprint. I can get you close with the Market Authority Academy. It is everything that I wished I had as a new agent. And what I'm so fortunate to do is work not only with brand new agents who are like just getting into the industry and get them set off on the right foot, but I'm also working with agents who have been in it for like 15 years. They've closed the same number of deals every year for the last decade. They've never gotten over that next threshold of production, and they've never really had to put systems in place or create a really fine-tuned marketing plan, and they're ready to tap into the potential that they know they have. And from there, they need to begin with building out all of these systems into their business. So maybe this is a fact of like, look, you do like the aspect of working with people, you enjoy the trade of real estate, but some things are off and some things are not working well. Well, maybe we can keep you on the right path and instead help fortify your business with the right practices in order to get you to where you are wanting to be. If that's the case, I invite you to book a time with me and let's chat. All the details to apply to the Market Authority Academy are below. I am taking applications currently, so book a time with me. We'll decide if working together makes sense, and I'll share with you ways that we can get you on the right path to where you want to be. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. And hey, if you are struggling and you're wanting to know if it's time to give up, I want to just challenge you to ask yourself these questions that we kind of touched on in this video. And if there's any way that I can support you, I want you to know that I'm always in your corner. You can reach out to me in the comment section of this video, or if you'd like, you can shoot me a direct message on Instagram at BrysonStefanie. I'm always game to chat because this is a very isolating business, but you don't have to go it alone. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Really hope this was helpful, and until the next time, keep on crushing it.